Hi guys, Sharon Lewin of School Corridor here. Lovely to have you back on a Tuesday when we have our live chats. So tonight we're still busy with our interactive tutorial series and we have started with the Microsoft Teams tutorial. So we are doing Microsoft Teams tutorial number 2 and your presenters are myself, Sharon, and of course I have Noel Isaacs, who is the principal of Florian Primary, as the co-presenter. And then on the side we have Krista Lewin as the technical support. So we will be doing the Microsoft tutorial. I don't know if Noel wants to say hi quickly.
Hi all, good evening. I'm happy to be collaborating with Sharon again. Um, just to state that I'm still a novice at Microsoft Teams, and I'm looking forward to this journey where I'm hopefully going to become um, a bit more skilled at using Microsoft Teams because we all of us are using Zoom. But
Yes.
from what I've heard, Microsoft Teams is a better option because you can share files and do a couple of extra things. So I think now in the COVID-19 environment at school and even at home, for us as in teaching, we are going to need these virtual tools for conducting meetings, albeit with SMTs or grades or whatever. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, thanks, Noel. So as Noel said, Noel, you said you were novice. I'm also a novice, so I'm also learning about Microsoft Teams. And so it's nice to know that we're learning together. And then, of course, I need to just share with the community that Noel initiated this Microsoft tutorial series because he alerted me to it and said, that schools need to learn how to use the platform because you all have access to Microsoft Teams. And of course, it's best that everybody knows how it works. So, on that note, I just want to explain then what the focus of our session is. We're going to do a recap of how to download the Microsoft Teams apps. And then we're going to do a recap of the navigation bar because I think we rushed it in the previous session. And then for this session, we also want to do the creation of teams. So we would like to show you how to create a team. And then, of course, Noel and I will just have a short chat so that you can actually see how the chats happen in the team environment. Okay, so on that note, I think it's time for us to dive in. So, as we explained in the previous tutorial, the Microsoft Teams app is a web-based app or a cloud-based app, which means that you can only access the Microsoft Teams via the internet. Okay, but you can download the Microsoft Teams app on your desktop because there is a desktop app, and you can also download the Microsoft Teams app as a mobile app. So we would strongly recommend that you download the desktop Microsoft Teams app onto your computer and you also download the mobile app on your phone because the mobile app has the very same functionality, the same capabilities as your desktop app. Okay, so let me just go to the screen that you see there. You'll notice this won't be the screen that you see when you launch Microsoft Teams for the first time. But when you go back into Microsoft Teams, this is often the screen that you'll see, right? This is the interface. So let me just run through that quickly. You'll see that on the right-hand side, I just want to speak to those pictures and the information that you see there. You'll see that above, just in the very first tab section there, you'll see there's a B because that is the initial of my team that I've created. I've created a team called Besties, right? And then just below Besties on that section of the interface, you'll see hidden teams because I've hidden all the teams that I belong to since this is on the internet, and there are some of the teams that obviously is not for public consumption. Okay, back to the pictures. Just before we get to the pictures, there's the B, which is the initial for Besties, and then you get the general. That is the general tab. That just tells you that in Teams, all the information in your team, all the conversations, all the video conferencing, all the messaging will all fall under general. Okay? Then you'll see posts. That is where you're going to find all your conversations, posts that you have indicated, that you've shared with other people. You have a files tab. That means that you can upload files either directly from the internet, or you can upload files that are on your computer that you would like to share with your team. Then you have the wiki tab there that we'll go into during another tutorial. And then of course you have the plus sign, which tells you that there are other apps available as well. Then if you move to the far right, you'll see there it says Teams, and there's an eye which says you can, this team is visible. And then of course you'll see I have one guest. Now in the previous tutorial we tried to explain that when you invite somebody to be part of your team and that person doesn't belong to your school or your organization, then that person is known as a guest. Okay, so Microsoft Teams allows you to invite outsiders to be part of the teams that you create, but that person or persons will get guest status. So having explained that, let's go to the three pictures. Microsoft Teams is very visual, so you'll see there are pictures there for you. If you want to add more people, then you just click on that tab, add more people. Say, for example, you forgot to add me to your team, so you can actually add me to the team. Then the next picture speaks about how to create channels, which we will also talk to in a next tutorial. It's going to be a bit too heavy for this one. And then of course the last graphic that you see there is the frequently asked questions tab. Okay, and there you will be able to access all the resources that Microsoft Teams, the editorial team or their team that works with Microsoft has put together a whole library of resources that you can access, video resources, and even articles that you can read. Perhaps I should just mention at this point that the Microsoft Teams environment isn't that easy when you start dabbling in it. At the beginning, you'll have to spend some time reading a lot, watching videos on Google, actually working in the Teams environment so that you get used to it. But once you get a handle on what's happening, you'll find that it's pretty easy. Okay, let's move to the navigation bar. On the left hand side, you'll see there's a navigation bar. You first have the activity icon, the bell. So that activity section will show you all the activities that have taken place, all the conversations that you've had, all the messages that you've posted, all the chats, everything will be recorded under the activity section. So you'll see under my activity section, I just have the one team, as I explained, besties, and then of course I've got hidden teams. But had I opened the hidden teams, you would have seen all the various teams that I have created or that I have been invited to be part of. Then our next icon is the chat icon. That's the conversation icon. So when you click on that icon, then you can start having a conversation either with your entire team, or you can have a conversation with selected people, and we'll talk about that at some point. Then, of course, the third icon is the Teams icon, and that's the one we would like to focus on tonight to show you how to create your team. And then we also want to start a conversation in that team. So that is what Noel and I will be doing. And then, of course, you have the calendar icon, and we'll speak to that in a later tutorial. Further down, you have more apps that you can access, and then, of course, you have the help button. Right? So that is just the interface of Microsoft Teams. And like I said, you're going to have to play around, test the go into the various tabs and see what it's all about. Now, perhaps I can just go back to the center here and just talk to the bottom section. Can you see there? It says Sharon Lewin has added school corridor courses as a guest to the team. So because My school corridor channel is not part of the organization that I belong to, automatically that channel will be seen as a guest. Okay? And then you can see there's a section, a window area where you can start the conversation, so you can just continue typing in this section. So you'll see that you're in the besties team. So if you want to send a message to the besties team, you can just start typing immediately in that section. But we're going to hold on to that because Noel and I are supposed to find out what school are we teaching at or leading at, and then we're going to start a team for that particular school or a few teams depending on what Noel wants to do, and then we're going to have a chat. So let's move on to that section. So now's the time for us to decide on the name of our school because we belong to a school, Noel and I, and we've got staff members and colleagues. So now, what's going to be the name of our school?
Let's give it a revolutionary name and say Freedom High or Freedom Primary or Freedom Combined School.
Okay, yes, let's go for the Freedom Combined School because then we have high school and primary school
Yes.
incorporated in that name. Okay, so we are members of the Freedom Combined School. Hello, guys, all the way from Freedom Combined. I don't know, you also want to greet it quickly as the principal of Freedom Combined School.
Yes. Hello from the campus of Freedom Combined School.
Lovely. Yeah, so we are now Freedom Combined School. So we are working in the Microsoft Teams environment, and we want to start a few teams in Microsoft Teams that our staff will belong to. So now, what teams would be the most critical teams or the key teams that we can start?
I think we obviously being futuristic as to when schools will eventually open, and we will then have to become accustomed to life in a COVID-19 environment. So I would think that the SMT would be one team, uh, a team for the teaching staff, a team for the non-teaching staff,
Hmm.
a team for the phases, the various phases, a team for the various grades, and for the high school component, a team for the various departments, albeit commerce or social sciences, humanities, uh, um, mathematics, um, and also the school governing body,
Mm-hmm.
as well as not forgetting in terms of the learners, the RCL,
Mm-hmm.
and for the primary school section, the prefects.
Oh,
I
wonderful.
think those would be the main teams. Yeah.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. I like the idea that we are progressive, that we have teams for our staff, and we are referring to the teaching and the non-teaching staff. And of course, we're incorporating the learners and the parents. So we are on the right track. Okay. So what we're going to do next now is we're going to then start a team. So no, we just have time perhaps to start one or two teams. So what would you suggest we start, to
Let's
get the ball
let's start
rolling?
with a small team, maybe the SMT,
The SMT, yes. Is that going to be the only team we're going to test for the start for this round? I think
and
so.
maybe yes, um, just just on reflection, I think maybe an important team
Mm-hmm.
um, during the time that we eventually go back to schools and become accustomed to the new environment would be the finance committee,
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
because obviously we would have to readjust budgets, and we're not going to be able to do fundraising. So maybe the finance committee would also be a critical team.
Okay, good. So we'll start an SMT team and we'll start a finance team. Okay, guys, we're just trying to be as realistic as possible because this is the kind of discussion you guys will probably have. So we're going to dive straight into that now. We're going to go into the Microsoft Teams environment. And then Noel, you won't be able to see Noel in the background. Noel will be there at the back end, but you won't be able to see him on screen. but you should be able to see him when I start the teams on this side and I invite Noel and we start having the conversations. Then you'll see my principal also talking. Okay? Right, let's go to Microsoft Teams. Right, guys, so we're going to start, we're going to create the teams. I have been requested by my principal, now Isaacs, to create 2 teams. So I'm going to create the school management team, the SMT, Freedom SMT combined, and I'm also going to create the financial committee team, which will be called the FinCom team. Okay, so let's get started. So I'll go into teams, and then you'll see right at the bottom of the first part of the screen, you'll see join or create a team. So I'll click on that. Then I can't see the whole screen here, but I'm sure you will be able to see there's a create a team little box there. So I'll click on create a team. Then I will be asked, do I want to build a team from scratch or do I want to create a team from an existing Office 365 group or team? I would suggest that you build a team from scratch. So you click on that. What kind of team will it be? We'll make it a private team, not a public team, because we don't want everybody to have access to our team except the members that we are going to invite to be part of the team, right? So the first team that I'm going to create is called Freedom Combined SMT. That's the name. I'm going to just give a brief description. You don't have to be, don't write a lengthy description. So I'll just say that this is the senior management team space as a description. That's done. Then I'll scroll to the bottom of that section. I'll get to create. So I'll click on create. And there Microsoft Teams will create the team and says, nice work, right? There we go. And then, of course, I get to this screen where I have to add members. So now I must add all the SMT members. So I'm going to add 1 member so long, but just assume that I'm adding the whole group. So I'm going to add Noel Isaacs as an SMT member. You'll see Noel's name comes up because I already have Noel as part of my email directory, right? But if you don't have the person's name popping up, then you have to type up the entire email address. Okay, so I can type in Noel W. Isaacs at mweb.coza, or in this case, because I have it here already on my drop-down menu, I just click on it, there Noel's name appears, I say add, and there you can see Noel has been added as a guest. Now, at the other end where Noel is going to get a notification, and then Noel is going to have to accept the invitation to be part of this team, right? So I'm going to ask Noel. You can't see Noel now, but I'm going to ask Noel to talk us through and tell us whether he's received the notification, because then we know that he has has accepted the invitation to be part of this team, right? So Noel, if you can hear
Yes,
me, then
I received an email which says you have been added to a Microsoft team, and then it says open Microsoft Teams, and then it asks, do you want to switch to Western Cape Government? There's 2 options, cancel or yes, so I'm going to click yes.
okay, while Noel is clicking yes, I'm just going to close my screen on this side. And yeah, Noel?
And then it says I'm now in Sharon's Microsoft page, and then I'm seeing Freedom Combined SMT.
There we go. So Noel has accepted my invitation and he is now a member of the Freedom Combined team. Notice on my page, as you can see on the screen, it says Sharon Lewin has added Noel Isaacs as a guest to the team. Remember, Noel, just for our purposes here, Noel is not a member of the organization that I belong to officially. So when I add him to my team like this now, although we created our own little school, Noel will come up as a guest, okay? But if you add your staff members, all of them will belong to the same school and they won't get guest status. It's only somebody who's outside your organization. Okay, I hope that makes sense. We have created our own little school here, but I am operating from my organization's Microsoft Teams app. Okay, so that is why Noel is coming up as a guest. So now you see Noel as a guest, and we can start having a conversation. So I'm just going to say to Noel, I know, so good to be a member of your staff, and hopefully Noel will get that message. So that's the end of my message. I say enter, and there the message goes off to Noel. So hopefully Noel will respond to that message. And then while Noel is busy typing up a fabulous message for me, I'm going back to Teams, and I'm going to start the second team, because we did mention we're going to start 2 teams, right? SMT team, and then I was also requested to start a team called the FinCom team. So I do the same thing. I go create a team, click on create a team. I want to build a team from scratch. I want to make it private because I don't want everybody to have access. I must give my team a name. I'm going to call it FinCom, Freedom FinCom, Freedom FinCom. Yeah, FinCom stands for Finance Committee. I'm going to give a brief description and say the Finance Department portal for the school. Okay, I'm just giving it a brief description. Once I've done that, then I'll scroll down and I'll see create. So I'm going to create my second team. I am the owner. Nice work, Sharon. And then, of course, now I can add members. So I'm going to add Noel again for our purposes. Noel is added. I click on add, and there you can see Noel is operating as a guest at this point, right? So go to the bottom of the page and I can say closed. Now I can go check my conversations, and I can see if I go into my team, Freedom, Combined SMT, I should see if I have a message from Noel. Did I message Noel? So I'll go into the chat. Oh, there. Notice under activity, I've got a notification, a red exclamation mark to say, you've got mail, Sharon. So I can click on that to see what mail I have. And then I can check, and I see Noel has sent me a message. Noel says, welcome. Just toe the line, okay? I don't tolerate people disagreeing with me. That's a good message now for somebody who included the whole staff, the teachers, the parents, and everybody listen to that. And often we find that with our leaders sometimes. Very nice in public, but on the ground. And Noel is just trying to mock that kind of attitude. Thanks, Noel. And so I can, of course, continue the conversation with Noel. But that's how easy it is, guys. If I want to say, right so, just I'm towing the line. And then if I want to, I can add something as cool as an emoji, and I'll just put a big, broad smile there and say enter. Okay, so that is basically what you do. You create your team, and then you can start chatting immediately, and you can see there I got a notification, and so I could respond to know. Everything happens in real time. Okay, you don't even have to leave the space. Notice I was creating the second team, and while I was creating the second team, I got a notification that I've got a message, and it was from Noel, and I could respond, and now I can go back to Teams again. Okay, so if I go to Freedom Combined SMT, I'm going to tell you what I see on my side. Once I click on the ellipses, those 3 dots there, then I get a drop down menu. You'll first see hide on my side. Hide means I can hide that team so that it's not visible on my screen. Then I get to manage the team. So if I click on there, you'll see what is under that tab there. It shows you the management of the team, who the owners are, and who the members are. Now you'll see I'm the owner and Noel is the member only. Okay, and then let's just go back there. I can create a channel. So it says add channel. Now we'll go into detail talk about channels in a later tutorial, but essentially a channel is just a mini team within a bigger team. Okay, that is just Microsoft's jargon, Microsoft's language. So we'll speak about it later, but I can add a channel, I can add a member, I can leave the team as well, I can edit the team, I can get a link to the team. A link to the team, it means there's a link for this particular team. So if I want to invite somebody to become a member of the team, I can send the link to the person. Okay, so I could have chosen to go that route. I could have sent a link to Noel or to Krista or to anybody, and that person who gets that invitation just has to click on the link and then either accept or reject the invitation to become part of the team. Okay, then of course I can manage tags, and I have this amazing privilege of deleting the team as well. Okay, that's from an owner's perspective. Those are the permission levels I have. Now let's hear from Noel. Noel, you've been invited to be part of this team. So tell us, if you go into the teams there, into Freedom Combined SMT, and you look at your drop-down menu, then what functionality do you have? What kind of permission levels do you have?
I have hide, manage team, leave the team, get linked to team, and manage tags.
Okay. So you don't have add a channel. You don't have add a member. And you don't have delete the team. Okay, notice just a member. So Noel doesn't have those privileges. And I think that's very good, because the person who starts the team should have control over that team, right? And your members can't have that kind of power or that kind of control. Thank you, Noel. I think that makes sense, guys.
I,
That's the
I,
difference. Yes,
yeah,
Noel?
I, however, have the democratic right to leave the team. It gives me that option here.
I like that. Notice that if you are a member, you have the democratic right to leave the team. And that is a very good functionality that Microsoft Teams put in here. So it doesn't mean you're stuck in a team forever. So leave the team is common to both the owner and the members. Okay, I think we've explained that. So guys, whatever we did now in terms of showing you how to create the team, how to invite members to the team, and then also to see the functionality of that you have in the team, and then of course the owner's permission levels, or the owner's authority and the member's authority. So that's sort of enough information for you to start getting a team going. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just wrap up, Noel and I, because even if we should show you what's happening in the FinCom committee, we were going to follow the very same process. Okay, I've invited Noel, so Noel will also have the same functionality on his side, his same permission levels on his side, and me as the owner on this side will have the same permission levels. So we're not going to duplicate that part. So this part we're wrapping up, and now you should see the two presenters on the screen. Guys, so that's a wrap. We hope that you are going to benefit from this tutorial. So I'm just going to allow Noel just to give a final comment before we do our traditional war cry here on School Corridor. So Noel, what would you say? How useful is this for SMT members or people who have aspirations to be SMT members or principals?
I think as I said in the opening, I'm still learning, and I've learned quite a few tricks during the session. And during the COVID-19 period, we hear scientists saying it's going to be for the next year or two. So when we eventually go back to school, we obviously have to get used to life at school under COVID-19. And whether they lock down the schools again or whether we're at school, Microsoft Teams is, I think, going to be a critical tool for teachers to communicate with, whether it's now the SMT, face staff meetings. And I think in the future, when posts are going to be advertised, whether it's deputy posts or principal's posts, I think governing bodies are going to include Microsoft Teams as part of maybe a practical to see if you are clued up with Microsoft Teams.
Mm.
So yeah, I enjoyed this evening. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Now, I think that that's some good advice for, for aspiring SMT members or even like your deputy principals who want to become principals. Thanks now for those wonderful, solid words, the wise words. So, guys, on that note, we're going to end the session and we have our own little war cry here. And we say we will end the session that you're on school corridor, the idea is to build your capacity, but we have our popular phrase, slogan. Crystal's falling asleep, guys. What do we say on school corridor? We like to, come now, we like to grow people and ourselves. We like to inspire and we like to empower everybody. So on that note, cheers. Cheers from
Thank you.
now.
Cheers.
Yeah, thanks now.